called The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, and it is a real diary written by a Jewish girl in hiding during the Holocaust. The diary and the writer are very relevant in the history of the Holocaust, as well as the history of today. Dear Miss Hipkins, I'm reading the book The Diary of a Young Girl, written by Anne Frank. The number of pages in this book is 283. This book is an autobiography about a young 13-year-old Jewish girl whose family goes into hiding from the German Nazis. They stay in a place called the Secret Annex and have to live with boredom, sadness, angst, and even death. The book is well written and very imaginative as it is seen through the eyes of a young girl, and it is written at such a horrible, impacting time in history. The library would benefit greatly from this book because it is very well known and also highly requested. This book is about a big part of history, the Holocaust, and it is very unique as it is written through the eyes of not an adult, but a child. The book is very famous and has reviews from the New York Times and the Philadelphia Inquirer, along with an introduction from Eleanor Roosevelt. The book is very informative of what it was like to live as a Jew in hiding during the Holocaust. This book would help with history classes, English classes, and possibly even art classes. Hopefully you can consider having this book in the library, as I believe it would be very beneficial and would get lots of attention. Sincerely, me. The review. A review on the famous book, A Diary of a Young Girl. The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank is about 2 years of a young Jewish teenager's life during the times of World War II. During most of the time period written about in her diary, Anne and her family, along with a few other Jewish people, are hiding in an attempt to escape from Hitler's anti-Jewish laws and death. The diary ends suddenly in August 1944, when she and her family are taken into custody by the Germans and transported to a concentration camp. This book is very moving. It starts off quite slow, like a normal everyday journal entry. But then you keep hearing about what it's really like being a Jew in the war, and you actually read it through the eyes of a Jewish teenager. The book is a major historical piece and gives a very different view on being a Jew, as it's directly from the point of view of a young person. It's quite sad because there is little she can do to stop what's coming. On Anne Frank's 13th birthday, she is given a diary. She's very happy about this because she wants someone or something that she can tell all of her secret thoughts. Although she has plenty of people to talk to, she doesn't feel like she can connect with them and have deep conversations with them and share her feelings. She feels misunderstood by everyone she knows. Anne starts the diary by writing about everyday events such as school, family life, her cat, and what's on the radio. After about a month of this, her and her family's lives change when Anne's sister, Margaret, gets called in by the police. The family is terrified this will mean she is going to be sent to a concentration camp. This leads to Anne's family going into hiding. Thankfully, they know of a place in Anne's father's office building that is safe to stay hidden. It's a section of rooms behind a swinging bookshelf. The Frank family doesn't realize that they will be living in this small place for the next 2 years. Anne's last years are spent tiptoeing around the small, crowded place. There are also a few other people living with them, Mr. and Mrs. Van Daan and their son Peter, along with an elderly dentist who comes along later in the book named Mr. Dussel. There is a lot of good reading material in the Secret Annex. Everyone spends a lot of their time reading, as there really isn't that much else to do. Anne grows more interested in literature and politics as she spends time in the annex. Throughout this time, she also grows farther apart from the other members of her family. Anne starts to change when she develops a friendship with the Van Daan son, Peter. He reminds her of a love she once had for a boy she went to school with, who was also named Peter. She sometimes gets the two confused. When she spends time with Peter, it comforts her and gives her hope to see her old boyfriend once again. They slowly develop a strong friendship throughout the book. A Another change in Anne happens when the war is said to soon end. All things written during the war would be in high demand after it is over. She is very excited about this and begins editing her diary. Sadly, her excitement and new energy doesn't last long. As Anne becomes more educated on the suffering the world is going through, her own suffering is getting worse too. She feels completely isolated. She feels hated. She feels that she's being criticized by everyone and still very misunderstood. And there is no escape. She even felt at one point that maybe if her and her family had died instead of taking refuge in the annex, it would have been for the better. Her diary has its last entry on August 1st, 1944. This is a picture of her real diary, so it is not fake, it is real, it's a true story. Just thought I'd put that in there.
Do you know where, is that in her house?
I think I do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the Anne Frank house. This book should have a place in our library because it is a one-of-a-kind historical piece of knowledge. It was created at a time in history like no other, a time that will always be remembered as horrible and terrifying. When you read the book, you can truly feel the emotion coming through the pages. Some of the emotions you feel are fear, excitement, love, anger, sadness, compassion, and hope. This book is something everyone should experience reading. It teaches many lessons like patience, honesty, and cherishing and spending time with your loved ones. The Diary of a Young Girl really shows you how precious your life is and how fast